Hey guys, it's Shani and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm doing eyeshadow do and don't. So I have done a whole makeup do's and don'ts before. If you guys haven't seen that, I will link it down below. And I did run over the eyeshadow in that video, but I want this video to be like more in depth and I want to talk about every single step that I think is kind of like a makeup mistake to kind of avoid. Obviously you can do what you want. I don't really care what other people do with their makeup, but this is just tips that I found super helpful and I thought I should share them with you. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you want to do before applying any eyeshadow is going in and priming your eyelids. So there's two reasons for this one. The first one being you're going to conceal any veins that you may have on your eyelids. I have a lot, especially when I raise my eyebrows like this. You can see them all really well. The second reason being it's going to make the eyeshadow blend out a lot easier. The color is going to be more pigmented and it's going to make your eyeshadow last a lot longer. So there is two things you can use for eye primer. You can use your concealer, any concealer that you have, or just a basic eye primer. I used to use the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot to prime my eyes all the time, like for the past 2 years. But recently I've swapped over to concealer because I feel like it's easier to blend into the eye and it works just as well. So anything that works just as well, that is easier, I'm going to do. So on the do side, I'm going to go ahead and just prime my eyes and then blend this in with my finger. I like to use my finger just so it melts into my skin. Now going in with any powder that you have, this is the Rimmel Stay Matte. I'm just going to go ahead and set my primed eye. This is just going to make sure the concealer or eye primer isn't wet anymore. It's just going to mattify it so all of the colors that we put on over the top blend out really easily. If you don't set it, the eyeshadow is just going to really stick to the wet base. So on the don't side, I'm just going to leave it all veiny. Now it's time to start working on the transition shade. So the transition shade is the color that you put right in your crease, and this is going to allow the other colors to blend up easier into this shade, and you don't want any other colors to go past your transition shade. So I'm going to use the eyeshadows from the Balm palette, and I'm just going to take a medium brown right here. This is usually the color that I put in my transition every time I do my eyeshadow. But just say I was going for like a purple smoky eye, then I'd recommend putting like a lighter purple in there so all of the darker purples can blend upwards. But most of the time I just like to put a brown in there, even if I was to have a random colored eyeshadow look. I just feel like brown is easy to work with. So I hope that made sense. That was kind of confusing. I'm just going to put this in my crease right here and blend it from inner corner to outer corner. This is also going to add dimension to the eye as well. And the brush that I'm using is the Makeup Studio S09. I really like this one because it's really fluffy and it just makes blending so much easier. Something else that I would recommend doing is just taking a little bit at a time. You don't want to go in with too much at once because that's when it's going to be really hard to blend it out. And then on the don't side, of course, as I said before, you don't want to go in and apply a lot at a time. Oh my god, I'm scared for this because it is going to be quite patchy and hard to blend out, as you can see right here. I am going to exaggerate all of the don'ts so it is like more obvious to see. Now it's time to add a darker color in the crease. So this one is just going to go below the transition shade just here, and it's going to add a lot more dimension to your eyes. It's going to make them look a bit deeper. I have like really flat eyes, so I love this step. So now I'm going in with this chocolate brown shade right here on a smaller blending brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and start from the outer corner and slowly take it in windshield wiper motions. You just really have to take your time with darker shades. Another thing that I love to do is go back in with a transition shade to blend out any harsh lines from that darker color, just so it is a softer blend upwards. And I like to use a brand new clean blending brush for this one. Just start it a little bit. Now for the don't side, I'm going to go in with the same brush that I use in the transition to apply this color, and I'm going to take this dark shade right here and put this below the transition, and you'll be able to see that all the colors kind of blend into one. And you want to make sure not to bring it too high up near the brow, otherwise it's probably going to look like you got punched in the eyeball. I like to keep mine pretty low so when you look up you can just see the darker shade peeking out the top. I always used to clean my eyeshadow up with a Q-tip, and that's just because I brought it out way too far. But if you guys don't want to have that really sharp line, like I don't like that anymore, I would just recommend bringing the all of the blending just to about here and stopping it there. And if it does come out a little bit, as you can see, this side has a tiny bit, you can just go in with concealer and then with a beauty blender just like pat it so it does have still a sharp line, but it's not as sharp as that. Now time for the lid color. So this one is pretty straightforward. I can't think of a don't for this, but I just like to apply my lid color with my finger because I just think it applies a lot more pigmented and it is super easy. So I'm just going to pack this on my lid. What I like to do after I apply my lid color is to go back in with that transition shade on a small blending brush and even maybe a little bit of the crease color as well. And I'm just going to blend these two together right here. Okay, so when it comes to applying a shimmer on the lid, there are two ways that you can apply it to make it really intense. So the first being a little brush and a bit of Fix Plus. And this is going to really pick up all of that shimmery product. So this is the one that I'm going to use today. Go straight in and apply this, and it's going to be super pigmented. Another way that you can apply it is straight from your finger. So rub her in and pack it straight on. And what I wouldn't recommend is just taking like a fluffier brush that is dry and applying that straight on because it doesn't pick up as much color and it comes off a little bit more like flaky and you'll have a lot more fallout. Well, I guess this looks good if you want like a light application. And something else that I don't like to do is put any shimmery shades above my crease because that's just going to make the skin look more textured. I do have hooded eyes as well, so it's going to pick up all of that sagginess. So as you can see up here, all of the skin just looks a lot more flaky and dry. I don't even know what this like lump of color is. I just wanted to add it to show you how to apply shimmer a lot easier, even though it looks a bit random. Now it's time for the lower lash line. So what I'm going to do for the don't side is just go in with that darker shade that we put right in the crease, pick up a lot and put it from inner corner to outer corner. Since my eyes are really dark, I like to kind of stay away from putting any dark colors under my lower lash line, at least this much, because I look like a raccoon. What I'm going to do instead is take my lid color, and this one is going to go from inner corner to outer corner. So this one is a bit lighter, so it's going to look, oh my god, I just realized I didn't do my concealer. And then on a clean, fluffier brush, I'm going to take that transition shade. I can never say that word properly. Transition shade. I'm going to put this underneath that maroon just so we can blend it out a bit so it's not too harsh. And then if you do want to smoke out your lower lash line, you still can, of course. So I'm just going to take a really small, flat definer brush and I'm going to apply that really dark brown really, really close to my lower lash line. This is going to define the lashes. It's going to look gorgeous. Now to highlight the brow bone, I'm going to take this shade from Makeup Geek and I'm just going to lightly put this right under my eyebrow for a subtle highlight on the do side. I'm going to tap off any excess because she pigmented. I like to use a really small brush so the highlight shade doesn't go too far down. Then I like to go in with a little blending brush and blend out any harsh lines. Just very softly. And then on the don't side, I'm going to take a bigger brush and just pack heaps on. And we're not going to blend this one out. Oh my god, this is tragic. Now let's talk black eyeliner in the lower waterline. So I personally don't like to apply black eyeliner in there just because I feel like it closes the eyes and I feel like it's too dark and like grungy looking. So on the don't side, I'm going to apply that in there. I'm also going to drag it down a little bit. I'm also going to apply this in this eye right here, but I'm going to show you how I would do it to make it like more wearable and blended. Now taking this matte black shade right here, I'm going to use this to blend out that eyeliner that we just put on so it doesn't look as harsh. So I'm going to keep this really, really close to the lower lash line. We just want it to look a bit more smoked out. Now it's time for the lashes. So I love big, dramatic, full lashes. And I feel like there's a way you can still achieve that without blocking out your whole eyeshadow look. So this is the ones that I'm going to use on my do side. As you can see, there's still little gaps in them. They're still nice and long, but you could definitely be able to see the eyeshadow through these. On the don't side, I'm just going to take this really big, thick black pair. When you put them on, the whole eyeshadow is just completely blocked out, and I just feel like it doesn't look as good. So here we have the finished look. As you can see on this side right here, it still is very dark and dramatic and intense, but it is definitely just like more wearable and softer, as it has a nice gradient to it and it is a bit more blended out. So if you do this side, please don't take it personally. I honestly don't think it looks that bad. But anyways, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video.